All right, so we just looked at aperture and shutter speed, and we looked at the aperture controls the light from your flash falling on your subject, and shutter speed controls all of the ambient light. And we also looked at sync speed. So we know that we cannot go over our sync speed when we're using flash. So we're gonna put those two things together right now and just give you kind of a practical example of how you would use this in a shoot. So we've got our model Tina here today in this great shot, and we're gonna start out, I've got my settings at f8 at a 250th of a second. So I'm right at my sync speed, my maximum sync speed at f8. And I have my flash power set about half power on my flash right now. So we'll take our first shot and we're gonna see where we're at, and I believe this is gonna be very dark. So if we go ahead and take our first shot, you're gonna see that we can't hardly even see Tina in the shot. It's black all around her, and we're just seeing her face. So right now, all I wanna work on is the light falling on Tina. So remember, we use our aperture to do that. So my settings right now, I am at f8. I'm gonna take it down to f6.3, so I've opened my lens up a little bit more, and we'll shoot that again. We can see a little bit more of her in this next picture, but still not a lot there. Now I'm gonna take it down to f5. And we can start now seeing her coming into the picture a little bit. So, but I'm not happy where that's at right now, so I'm going to open it some more to f4. Now at f4, I really like what I'm seeing. I can see her really well. She's well exposed. I'm going to open up a little bit more so you can just see that she's going to get brighter as I open this up. So I'll take it down all the way to 2.8, and at 2.8, she's just a little bit overexposed for my taste. But what I want you to see now is we've determined where we should be, and I believe that it should have been at f4. So I'm going to go back to f4, and I'll take that picture once more at f4. This is where we've got now our subject locked in. Flash on our subject with our aperture. Now, the background's too dark, so we're going to start changing our shutter speed. We're at a 250th of a second, which is our maximum sync speed. So I'm now gonna start slowing that down. If I slow my shutter speed down, I will start seeing more of the background. So we will slow that down to 125th of a second. Now we can start to see the table in the background. I wanna see a little bit more than that, so I will slow it down some more, down to an 80th of a second. At an 80th of a second, we're starting to see a little bit more of the shop in. We're going to slow it down some more. I'm going to go to a 50th of a second. I really like that at a 50th of a second. What I want you to notice is the exposure on her is not changing throughout all of these shots. I'm going to slow it down some more so you can start even seeing it, how it gets brighter if I slow it down more. Down to a 20th of a second. Now at a 20th of a second, it looks like what my eyes see right now, and I don't like that it's too bright, but you can start seeing as I started to slow my shutter speed, more of that ambient light creeped in and it got brighter. So I'll bring it back to a 50th where I really liked it. Tina, if I can get you to pick up that, right now, that grinder, you're gonna turn your head this way a little bit, chin out, down a little bit, right there. Right there. So I've got it set at f4 at a 50th of a second, and my exposure is perfect. So next time you're out shooting with flash, remember, aperture controls the flash on the subject, shutter speed controls your ambient light. In this pro pop-up, let's look at aperture. One thing you must remember, aperture not only is the light falling on your subject, but it's depth of field. Whenever you're shooting a group, I want you to remember this. You can easily be confused in shooting a very shallow depth of field because the light looks good. Rule of thumb I always use is f8 whenever I'm shooting a group. So I start with f8. That might require, though, I have to have a more powerful light to put a nice pool of even light at f8 to get everybody sharp and in focus. If you don't have a powerful enough light, you can always turn your ISO up just a little bit to get the light that you need.